Denver Broncos Mile High View, one commercial, no bullshit. This episode brought to you by the Schwab and Sons Cock Rocket Emporium. And today, what we need to discuss is the draft, real quick. And is it draft, right? What about free agency? That's a separate.
I got free agency on my notes, but if you want to talk strictly draft, we can do that too.
Okay, this will be a draft then. We'll do draft. We're under the gun trying to get this done. We're going to come back and then we're going to do kind of more of a state of the Broncos, more spaghetti against the wall. I just want to say really quick, though, I want to pat us, and I'm going to say this too in our video on the overall state. We need to give ourselves a lot of credit because this is the channel that takes a lot of shit when we stick to our guns and we're right. Now you got sports talk radio saying, yeah, the offensive line isn't all that. Yeah, the defensive line isn't all that. And it's getting into this go all out narrative, which if you really dissect it, it's just, throw more spaghetti against the wall. It's not really a go all out. And they should have done that years and years ago anyway. Just go all out, building the organization up. So in the name of building up the organization, we're going to talk about the draft. And let me ask you, just so people can tune out right away, is quarterback your number one pick? Explain why the quarterback is not the number one pick for the Denver Broncos.
Okay, so the reason why the quarterback isn't the number one pick for the Denver Broncos for me is because we don't have the foundation or the organizational stability to support that type of player.
Timeout. That's exactly what Sports Talk Radio is actually admitting while trying to go after a quarterback at the same time. But go ahead.
No, when it comes to these quarterbacks, we saw last year with those Hall of Fame type quarterbacks that little D was trying to put forth in these other online platforms. The only quarterback that looked actually pretty damn good was Mac Jones because he was in the right organizational system and he was
in the NFL.
He had the pieces around him that fit his skill strengths.
Well, it's not just the pieces around him, what he has going for him. And this is why McDaniels ended up going to the Raiders. And this is something that's never discussed. If, Belichick was wavering on leaving, barring, if he didn't have a guy that, he knew could. But they have stability from an ownership, even though I can't stand that owner. But it's stable. And he's non-meddling. Belichick, he knows how to put together a scouting team. Excuse me, I haven't had enough coffee yet. A scouting team. From the scouting, he knows exactly how what his coach he's expecting from his coaches to So it's a cascading of how to do things, organizing, structuring. And Mac Jones goes to that stable organization, and he's that system. He's a quarterback that absolutely fits the system. And it's like, the Giants finally figured it out, and why everybody here is laughing at them. They admitted we screwed up our quarterback by, like Drew Lock, pulling the carpet, throwing spaghetti at him, and asking him to make shit out of chicken shit or whatever, make a meal out of chicken shit. They're finally figuring it out, and they've been really concentrating on their lines, as a starting point. I do not see this with this organization. I see the same instability going on with this organization. It definitely needs an owner. But okay, so go ahead. I can't even put a finger on anything with this team because it all looks like spaghetti. The mentality that's going on is spaghetti against the wall. They've got papers coming in, and instead of sticking to 4-3, that's what they do. They're not going the Belichick route. They're not doing the 49er. They're not doing the stability route. They're saying we're going to do this system. We're going to do that system. We're going to do this. Make it even worse. To me, I think this defense is on its way out. The way it seems like they don't know what they're doing. Like they're literally saying we're not going to have an identity. That's our identity. So even from defensive, Sure, there's linebackers out there, there's linemen out there, but they haven't even decided what they want to do. We said Draymond Jones may be better in a different system, for as example, but they don't even know what they want to do. So it's hard for me to say who to get with this mismanagement that's going on now at the Denver Broncos. Go ahead.
Well, when it comes to the defense, they had an identity under Vic Fangio, what type of system they were running. And Vic Fangio did the best he could with the shitty pieces and the shitty players that he had in terms of guys like a Justin Simmons, a Draymond Jones, and a Shelby Harris, and an Alexander Johnson and a Josie Jewell to some degree. But then you guys wanted to get rid of him and bring over a Pat Shurmur clone. I wouldn't say a Pat Shurmur clone. I would say a Pat Shurmur tenfold. Nathaniel Hackett didn't call the plays in Green Bay. I want everybody to understand this. He did not call the plays in Green Bay. The only successful time he did call plays was in Jacksonville. But that's when they had that offensive line in Jacksonville that was top-notch, offense and defensively. They had a running back in Leonard Fournette who was an absolute stud during that time frame. So, and they had better player personnel pieces than we did in Denver. So I just don't want to hear the excuses that we're going to get with Nathaniel Hackett when you guys fired Vic Fangio, and then you guys are going to expect this defense to still be the same when you're building the pieces around a guy like Justin Simmons, who's not even top 5 at his position.
Okay, they went to, I don't know, was the what game did they go to where all the other NFL?
The Senior Bowl.
Okay, they go to the Senior Bowl, and what was the feedback from the rest of the NFL? You want to talk about the NFL spoke. When the NFL spoke, what did they tell the Denver Broncos?
Well, Benjamin Albright, who works for KOA, went down there, and they said that specifically Nathaniel Hackett, yeah, he's a nice guy, but they're very concerned about his coaching ability and his in terms of, because the base around this hire was leader of men like Vance Joseph. They're very concerned about that aspect, and also they know that he won't have success here under John Elway because John Elway's still in the back meddling like he always will until he's gone from this organization.
Yes, they excuse me. The Denver Broncos dropped his GM title from the website. We kept pointing that out. It says GM. Even though it's very well known, it's been documented, it's been exposed that Elway, Hackett is Elway's guy. Hackett actually is not the GM's guy in reality. His guy was in Dallas, and he was told, no. So again, it's again that mismanagement. I'm not saying that the guy in Dallas was any good. I'm not saying that. I'm not going there, but I'm just saying undermining continues in the Denver Bronco organization. I do believe, and this is a separate topic, I do believe that this ownership bidding is something Elway has no control of. And I do not believe that if his group does not get in, I think this thing is getting bigger than maybe they thought too, that if his group, there's no way I believe Elway's going to set himself up to be fired. I think if his people are in there, he feels comfortable, he'll stay. But if it's somebody else's show, there's no way. I believe that's how we get the guy out of there.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. We don't know what's coming our way after that. So that's another, and we'll be here to point it out and everything else. We're not, just because we get rid of Elway doesn't mean we're going to fall asleep here. But go ahead. We're talking draft, and I can't even wrap my mind around it because I just have no idea what this team looks to me like. It's really built on spaghetti against the wall. So
absolutely, but these are players that if you were a proper organization in terms of the Broncos were trying to look at players that actually were understandable, these are the type of players I go after. Okay, I got top 3 guys here, and they're not. Or I would say top 5. But, they're not sexy names. They're guys that, if you were a proper organization, would actually be understandable and be damn good players. So my top guy is Evan Neal from Alabama. He can play left and right tackle. This guy's an absolute stud at his position. I've been saying that he reminds me a lot of Trent Brown, the Patriots right tackle. a guy that has very good leverage technique in terms of his sets, and also he he has power in his hand placement. What I mean by that, once he has you, you're not gonna get past him. He has you. You're locked, and you can't really do much about it. So that a guy like that, I think, would kind of bolster the right side with him and a Quinton Miners on that side. Just saying, you guys want to find your right tackle. There he is. Another guy that I have, number 2, Charles Cross from Mississippi State, another offensive tackle. He's more of your athletic West Coast zone run. He can get to the second level. The difference between him and Evan Neal has better leverage technique, but Charlie Cross has more of the athletic leverage technique. And what I mean by that is,
where on the line would you put this guy?
Charles Cross, left tackle.
Left tackle. Oh my! But we got Bowles.
Okay, I mean, Bowles reverted back to what me and you said he would revert back to, and that's holding and getting beat time and time again and clotheslining people. I sent you the video from the Browns guy who said, "How's this guy not getting called for penalties?" That's our left tackle, ladies and gentlemen.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. The way I see this offensive line, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. And here's the Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to throw this Aaron Rodgers bullshit in here, but just real quick. Nobody in the bubble. Nobody there in the Bronco bubble, whether it's the online platforms or the sports talk radio, has made a valid argument to Aaron Rodgers. They made an argument just for their own mind, their own mentality. They have not made a solid argument to Aaron Rodgers as why to come to Denver as opposed to anywhere else. You haven't done that yet at all. And that's my challenge to all of you out there who just want to flap your gums about Aaron Rodgers. I want to hear the argument to Aaron Rodgers to come here versus all the other teams he could go to. I have not heard anything sustainable. This offensive line would be the last place I'd be wanting to get stuck behind because there's so many holes to be filled on this thing, and it's delusion. I mean, it's total delusion about this line. At least you can't blame the Giants. You laugh at them, but they realize what they've got to do. Go ahead.
You know what? I would disagree with you if we had the balls and Elway actually had the fucking mindset to go after one of these two tackles that I'm talking about, and then you have a Natay Moody, and then you have a Quinton Miners, and then, you know what? The reason I say that is because Dalton Reisner, if he was in the right system, I think he would do pretty damn good in that Rich Scangarello, Mike Munchak system, the pulling of the guard, getting up to the second level.
Is that what Hackett's going to do? Again, this is where I can't.
Because that's not what he's going to do, because what have we been saying time and time again? We paid these receivers to go 20-plus yards downfield, okay?
Over the top.
Yeah, the bombs downfield, okay? But I'm just saying, if you were a proper organization, Quinton Miners and Natay Moody should be starting for you, okay?
Again, I hear you, but I see...
Cushenberry.
Okay, say that all again. Say it again.
Go ahead.
You got cut off.
I said, Quinton Miners and Natay Moody should be starting for you, not not Graham Glasgow and Lloyd Cushenberry. That's bullshit.
Okay. They just restructured
Greg Glasgow.
Thank you. Glasgow's contract so he can play more. If you read the contract, so he can play more. We're going to give you Go ahead.
Wow. No, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. I can't until this riffraff is out of here, until we get this nonsense out of here, until it leaves, until it's no longer an issue. I can't even put a draft together this year.
I know. I'm just talking. I know that you can't talk about the draft this year, and I completely understand. I'm with you, but these are guys that, if you're a proper organization, I would go after. These are guys, underrated players that, like a Rashawn Slater, when all you people were saying I was a talking head in the dark who actually was who looked like an all-pro out there at left tackle, and I said that he would be an all-pro left tackle, an all-pro tackle, and you guys laughed at my ass.
Yeah, because again, there's this, they think if we just grab a has-been, bring him in here, magic's going to happen. They don't understand how this works.
Yeah, look
That's
at Bob Betsy disintegrated down the stretch of the year.
Yeah, all they talk about is these unicorn and foo-foo ideas that just if we get a quarterback. They don't talk about building. This is about what we're saying. You're talking about going all out is what you're talking about. This is what going all out looks like. They don't understand what going all out is. And you don't go out
doing player development and building it the right way, not this fucking receivers corners shit.
Yes, and they don't get it. They don't get it. They just grab, try to find what has been at quarterbacks out there that we can. They don't understand. Start building the foundation. Around goddamn. I mean, right? Drew Lock, you got that. Why don't you save that instead of bringing another quarterback in? Why? They had Bridgewater. They blew all of that. They blew it. Why didn't you go all out?
You didn't like him coming out of college, but at least you could build around him and then put your quarterback on top of that, like the Bills, Chiefs did, like all these the Colts, all these organizations, the Ravens under Flacco before they got Lamar.
Yes,
it's simple shit. It's not that hard.
I know these toxic fans can't get it. They have no patience. They think Elway created this monster. It worked with Peyton Manning because they had built it. Josh McDaniels actually was a part of that, but that is gone. And so but of course it was Pat Bowlen spearheading the whole thing. But I just see a train wreck next year. Personally, I just really see a train wreck because to me, there's this team has no there's no center of a synergy, no center point.
There's no family culture shit that we live by in Denver now. It's all spaghetti at the wall. Let's get receivers and corners. Let's go after the quarterback because that's going to change our lives.
Well, it's not even now. It's even worse because it's even worse now because their defensive philosophy is spaghetti against the wall. We don't know what we are.
He agrees with us, man. He was agreeing with us in terms of what you're talking about, the defensive side of the ball. You're going to tell me that this defense is going to, under the new guy, is going to actually do something when Vic Fangio was working with chicken shit and making, Caesar salad out of that? You got to be fucking kidding me. Get the fuck out of here with that analysis. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying the defensive line is a train wreck that needs to be addressed.
Of course, it's been saying for years.
So how will the backfield function? How can it function? And then again, just think about this for a second. We have a lack of offensive identity we've had for a while. That's what was brought up at the Senior Bowl to the Denver Broncos. Now they're working on not having an identity on defense too. So this just looks to me like a train wreck in the making.
Of course it looks like a train wreck in the making because you're getting all these coaches that don't make any sense. You got rid of Mike Munchak for Butch Berry. You got rid
what about the running back coach? What about the running backs?
Modkins for Morgan State head coach, who's a Division III, whatever. Who I don't even know.
That's all we can get. Yeah, that's all we can get.
You got rid of Reggie Herring. You got rid of, these guys that were Wade Phillips. The only Wade Phillips people I see, you got rid of Ed Donatel. You got rid of Bill Kollar, bless his heart. I don't know why he's still here. He should request a release.
I know because he keeps getting cut off at the legs year in and year out. Cut off at the legs.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So keep going with your draft picks. That makes sense.
Tyler Lindenbaum from Iowa, center. I think this guy is going to be one of the best centers in the league in the next 2 to 3 years. This guy, when I watched him, Nebraska played him, and Nebraska's Nebraska, they suck. But in terms of Big Ten play, in terms of running the football, Wisconsin style type stuff, because that's exactly what Iowa does. This guy is a needle mover for your offensive line. This guy is like a Quentin Myers tenfold. Okay, he is way better than Lloyd Cushenberry. He is 6'3", 290. Okay, this guy is an absolute stud at his position. Okay, this guy can get to the second level. This guy is like an Evan Neal. Once he gets your hands on you, you can't push him back. He will push you forward. This guy is built. He has lower body strength, build the upper body strength. This guy looks like a wrestler in high school. Okay, these are the type of guys I like right here. Tyler Lindenbaum, Quentin Miners, and Evan Neal. Charlie Cross, to some degree, he's a little more athletic to my liking. But guys that can set the edge, guys that can set the middle, that can get to the second level and get your hands on you and you can't move and they cannot push you back. Tyler Lindenbaum would be an absolute – everybody would hate the pick, but if they picked him, I would love it. That guy's a beast.
What you're putting together is a quarterback. If just saying you want a quarterback doesn't help you out. I'm going to reach for this has-been over here. No. You've got to do just what Belichick was doing with for Mac Jones, what the Colts have been doing, just waiting for that. To me, if you want to, Colts would be a much better proposition than the Denver Broncos, just based on the offensive line alone. They get Buccaneers. They all get it. This fan base does not get it. Could you imagine watching watch the online platforms, watch sports talk radio, their heads just explode if they hold on a second, they did your draft pick. Hold on. But if you finally got into the playoffs and these offensive linemen are doing their job both in the running game and in the passing game, boy, it sure does look good then, doesn't it? It doesn't look boring then. It looks like, thank God.
And these draft picks, these draft prospects for me are Evan Neal, Charlie Cross, and Tyler Lindenbaum. Those are my top three guys. And I'm looking at other national prospects. They're in their top 10.
No,
okay, to some degree. To some degree.
Well, this definitely is not a waste your first draft pick on a quarterback. This isn't. Not. I mean, if we had done all this a long time ago, then the guy that they like in Pitt, that would make more sense. But it makes no sense in this draft class. Not just the draft class. It's not even part of it. It's where the Broncos are as an organization.
Yep.
That went.
So my apologies. My fourth guy is this guy. I don't know. I don't understand why people don't like him, because in the national championship game, this guy looked unblockable. And this is the defensive lineman that I was talking to you about, even in the national championship game against that offensive line of Alabama, Jordan Davis. He is my fourth prospect. Jordan Davis is 6'6", 340. You put him in the middle of that defense, you have your Vince Wilfork type player. This guy,
somebody will believe me. Somebody will covet that. That will be, but not here. Not here. That's right over their heads. I hate to tell you this. It's just that the more I've seen this coming together, the more it looks like nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And we got a GM who gets stepped on every step of the way by a meddler, and it's set this whole ball again into motion.
This draft class is a me and you draft class. There's offense and defensive line allure in this draft class. And
let's ignore it. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not. You grab a quarterback.
Jordan Davis can make a Shelby Harrison and a Draymond. He could be your Aaron Donald to a Ashawn Robinson or a Von Miller right now. I'm not comparing Jordan Davis to Aaron Donald, but Jordan Davis looks like an unblockable machine. This guy, 6'6", 340, and a center's going up against that as a defensive tackle. You got to be freaking kidding me. Jordan Davis is a sound run defender, and he is an underrated pass rusher. Okay, no one wants to talk about his pass rushing sets. His pass rushing sets are one of the best I've seen come out in a long time, okay, as a defensive lineman. Jordan Davis, he would be higher, but offensive line, I covet offensive linemen. I covet offensive linemen, but Jordan Davis, he's up there with an Evan Neal for me. He is.
You actually, that's how you build the quarterback position. But I'm just telling you.
I know.
This organization is Jetsville. It's Jets.
Yeah, we're going to go after Jameson Williams, receiver out of Alabama. Really? That's who we're going to go after? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yes, we're Raiders of the 90s and Jetsville. This is where we are.
All right.
What I'm going to let you know, you're addressing what's needed, okay?
Of course I am.
Here's the thing. We're going to go into next season with two lines that aren't our dog shit, okay? And they're going to try to make everything else work around that, and it's not. It's just they're wearing themselves thinner and thinner. It's going to be a mess. It is going to be a mess next year, guaranteed.
And my fifth guy, and this is another guy that no one's going to talk about. Well, people have been talking about it. It's actually a tie between both. I got to do more video content on these two players, and they're very neck and neck. Nakobe Dean, linebacker out of Georgia, who looked like a stud in the championship game for Georgia, and Devin Lloyd, linebacker for Utah. The difference between Dean and Lloyd, Dean is a better sideline to sideline player. Lloyd is more of your Micah Parsons, which he wants to go straight to the quarterback. That's the difference. Nakobe Dean has to get better, and this is a problem I saw in his tape. He has to get more instinctual in his pass coverage sets. But if he has the right coaching and the right organizational behind him, he could be a very good player in this league. Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd. Nakobe Dean is 6 foot 225. Devin Lloyd is 6'3", 235. So you're getting a size difference with Lloyd, and Dean is a little bit smaller. But the difference with Dean right now is Dean has the better sideline to sideline. He's a Baron Browning type player, but if he gets the right coaching, he could take that next step into being a great pass coverage player. He could basically be your Eric Kendricks up in Minnesota. But of course, we won't ever covet something like that until we get proper ownership in this organization.
Well, we messed out on the linebacker class last year, so thank you, thank you, John Elway.
Yes, thank you. But I'm just saying, Nakobe Dean could be your Zaven Collins if proper coaching is available, which we don't have that because you got rid of Reggie Herring.
No. So this to me, this is just for me, it's 1 + 1 still equals 2. Denver Broncos are in bad need on their lines on both sides. To me, this would be just going all out on lines, both of them.
They're top. They're. I'm looking at these other people here in terms of their prospects. Your quarterbacks that you're talking about, Kenny Pickett is ranked 21st in this class, and that's the guy you want to reach at 9.
Okay. Here's this. Let me just say this: you draft a quarterback. How in the world are you helping any? I don't care who the quarterback is. Let's say it was Lawrence. Say he was available. Yeah, whoever. How in the world are you helping that guy out, drafting him into this mess? Your lines are a mess. Your offensive line is a mess. And this is going to come out. If they don't address this is once again is going to come and haunt them.
And also, this free agent class, what we're going to talk about hopefully soon, is riddled with some very good offensive linemen and defensive linemen that you could pick up for the cheap. Just saying.
There's a guy in our division who really gets offensive linemen. You know who that is? He went to the Raiders.
Josh McDaniels.
He gets it. He get for all his. Believe me, Josh McDaniels. Go to the Raiders. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Watch his draft picks. Watch his draft picks.
For that top scout from the Patriots. Okay. Just keep saying that now.
He's gonna work on the lines. Yeah. And here's the thing too. You get the John Davis morons of sports talk radio The
How
Raiders.
is sports talk radio? Like, let me ask you, why is he in sports talk radio? Just stick to rapping, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, wow. And he's
Well,
your
you sit there and laugh at the Raiders, but last time I checked, they beat the Broncos handedly the first game, basically beat them handedly the second.
right.
And you go to the playoffs under all that adversity, and I think it's your player personnel that's carrying you.
Oh, of course it is.
Because they've been through they have been through where we are at. This corners, receivers, quarterback, all that. They've already been through all that.
Going through retread offensive linemen like it's, butter.
And I think Carr fits his system very well. I don't think that they're going to get rid of Carr. I don't think so. I think
and Tyler Columbus again, another guy that just wants to go after Marcus Mariota. Why would you? That makes
you know what? Hold on a second. I would go for that if they could somehow discipline themselves, the drafting, and hold on. Not waste a draft pick on a quarterback and go right into the lines. Okay, if you're that desperate with your quarterback nonsense,
you already have a good.
Well, you know that. I know. I'm just saying, if it meant that they could stop the nonsense during the draft and start building these lines up, I would say, okay.
I both know that's not going to happen.
I know.
Both know that ain't going to happen. You already have a quarterback cheap on the roster. How about you start building the lines around Locke? It doesn't mean Locke has to be your franchise quarterback, okay? To all the people that want their franchise quarterback, it doesn't mean Locke has to be your franchise quarterback. But in terms of building this thing correctly, how about you stick with Locke? He's still on his rookie contract. You can go
I agree. I agree with that.
You can go after an Evan Neal. You can go after a Tyler Lindenbaum. You can go after a Charlie Cross, or you can even go after a Jordan Davis from Georgia. It does not matter. But I'm telling you, you people need to start focusing on these lines because they showed themselves this year and they've shown themselves over the past 6 years. It's nauseating.
Yeah, and even Sports Talk Radio has had to admit that. They've actually had to admit that. But they'll ignore it.
Yeah, 6 fucking years.
Yeah, they'll ignore it, and I'm really going to uncork on people when this thing blows up, because I'm going to say you are the very people that wanted this. This is exactly what you wanted, and look at yourself in the mirror, because they're doing what you wanted, not what was needed, but what you wanted. So stop bitching and stop blaming everybody else. Start doing this thing the right way.
You know who did what we wanted this past? There's 2 teams exactly. It was the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Chargers. They went after Slater, my guy, because I knew we weren't going to get Penei Sewell. And then your guy, Zaven Collins, who I love Zaven Collins coming out.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can't get that here. We cannot get that here in Denver.
We can't get common sense. No, common sense is out the door. It's out the door.
And you have these online platforms, Mile High Huddle, saying, AKA, and I quote, why the Don Capers hire was vital for the Aaron Rodgers thing. You got to be fucking kidding me. Don Capers?
Well, yeah. This is them.
How is that vital to Aaron Rodgers? How is that vital? How does that even make any sense?
Let me explain. They are talking to themselves. They are talking, once again, the toxicity just permeates. They talk to themselves. You seriously are going to go to Aaron Rodgers with that argument? You're a moron. Just plain and simple, you're a friggin' moron. That is not going to motivate Rodgers to come to the Denver Broncos. Get it in your head.
I don't know if you knew this, but they hired their best friend as tight end coach. They hired Aaron Rodgers' best friend as tight end coach. So basically what we said we feared going into this season, they're doing exactly. It's like reading War and Peace on these people. Okay? We hired Aaron Rodgers' best friend as tight ends coach. He is a shoo-in here. That's
no. That's Aaron Rodgers goes by the beat of his own drum.
Well, the Aaron Rodgers beat of the Packers drum, because the Packers still have him under contract, and that's going to be a Denver Broncos deal and Aaron Rodgers deal. You guys aren't even talking about that at all.
Well, if that was to happen, but they may give Aaron Rodgers the Stafford treatment. Aaron Rodgers, if when he's got all these other teams to go to that are much better situation than this team, who cares if his best friend's there? He's going to want to be on a team that actually gives him a chance because, like I said, I would rather. I think the Colts would be even a much better because he could bring Devontae Adams with him into that situation, and he's got a offensive line head and shoulders above the Denver Broncos, head and shoulders above the Denver Broncos.
And this is the exact problem I have with this organization, and Elway's a part of this. When you're hiring best friends of Aaron Rodgers to your staff,
yeah.
How about you hire damn good coaches, okay? The coach that I wanted that would have made a lot of sense was Caldwell because he built an offensive line in Detroit. He built an offensive line in Indianapolis. He built offensive lines.
Yeah, no, we're not going to have any of that. This is spaghetti against the wall.
But you guys want Hackett, who clearly is a fucking yes man. I don't even care. One look at this guy and I'm like, oh yeah, he's a yes man. I didn't even have to watch his press conference.
Well, here's the thing. Dove Valley, John Elway believes that, they're going to get on the phone. Aaron Rodgers, you can be the offensive coordinator here. You get to be the offensive coordinator. Okay, that may sound nice, but he could get that in Tampa just as easily.
On Madden 22, it sounds nice. But in real life football, you need a cohesion between your coach, GM, organization, and whatever, your players. You can't just get spaghetti. Like you said, you're bringing it up time and time again, and you're not giving yourself credit for it. You're spaghetti just throwing it at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Hoping it sticks.
Yeah, is a direct correlation to that. Why the hell did you come back here? Number one. Number two, you got rid of one of your best coaches in that organization in Curtis Mawkins, who ran to Minnesota. You got rid of your best linebacker coaches in Reggie Herring. Okay, you're getting rid of all these known commodities on defense and these somewhat player coaches on offense, and you're just bringing in best friends of Aaron Rodgers and just hoping it sticks and hoping you're going to get Aaron Rodgers, which is not going to happen. It's not.
No, it would be highly unlikely. It'd be highly unlikely. Unless you can bribe Aaron Rodgers and give him the biggest bribe he ever seen, give the Green Bay Packers the biggest bribe they ever saw.
So that's 3 first-round picks and Jerry Jeudy and Draymond Jones, probably, or Bradley Chubb.
Now, who knows?
I'm just
but we would be drowning in that, and plus
the Packers would be happy to take Drew Lock. I think they would. I think they absolutely would.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into places for Aaron Rodgers to go, and the next video is going to be about the dysfunction of the Denver Broncos and what building going all out really means versus actually going all out. I'm going to have to get going because I got a date, so I got to fulfill that date. We will be back with another episode here, just talking about the delusion that's going on, going the go all out bullshit. I'm just going to tell you right now, there's no DeMarcus Wares out there. There's no Aqib Talib's out there. That there's so much that needs to be. You're not just going to be going all out mercenary because there's so many problems, areas on this team that need to be fixed. Aaron Rodgers isn't. I mean, like I said, besides Devontae Adams, who came to Aaron Rodgers' rescue in Green Bay? I mean, and there's just it's those players aren't out there right now. You said that, well, we can talk about free agency a little bit later, but we have so many holes that need to be filled. It's not a matter of free agency either. It's drafting.
I think the one thing that you're going to see that you didn't see under Fangio is you're not going to see these defensive players come flocking here like they were, and they weren't even coming to flock here. But you got some free agents.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I like a Bryce Callahan and Kareem Jackson because of a Vic Fangio, not because of John Elway, because of Vic Fangio. You're not going to get that now. You're not going to see free agents coming to flock here like under Peyton Manning and Pat Bowlen. You're not going to get that anymore.
No, I don't think they've factored that. Obviously, they've never factored that in.
out because they think they're just going to get Aaron fucking Rodgers. That's all they talk about.
I know we're going to destroy them once all this thing comes out, because I'm done listening to this nonsense coming out of there. It's
Absolutely.
just because all they are is just digging this franchise further and further into a hole that we got to dig out of. And it's, again, what do you want, people? Do you want to just be the Jets? Do you want to be the old Raiders of the 90s? You're heading in that direction. You're already there, but you're heading into even further into the abyss. But don't, like you always do, don't listen to us. And then when we're right, go ahead and get mad at us like it's our fault, because
and then block.
You didn't want to look at it.
Mile High Huddle, you dumbasses.
Hey, I was going to get you a prize. You want a prize? And I will give you that prize on the next video. Okay.
All right. Yep.
Take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.